to Ballots for Bears, Cal TV's special report on everything you need to know about the 2012 ballots. My name is Anna Carlos, and today we'll be talking about Prop 34, which if passed will repeal the death penalty and replace it with life imprisonment without parole. Among many reasons, those for the prop cite that repealing the death penalty will save millions in tax money and help the criminal justice system. However, opponents argue that the prop interferes with habeas corpus and believe that the death penalty is a good solution to execute violent criminals. To get Berkeley's opinion, I talked to professors and students about this issue.
I personally will be voting for Prop 34, but there are also a lot of inmates who are on death row who are against Prop 34 because the courts wouldn't provide them with a lawyer for filing their habeas appeals and going through that court process. And while they would still have the initial appeals process open to them and they would have a court-appointed lawyer for that, they wouldn't for habeas corpus.
The cost of incarcerating people who serve this sentence is less than the cost of incarcerating people on death row. And what we also know, and I think most Californians aren't aware of, is that if you look at those 4,000 people serving the sentence of life without possibility of parole, and you compare them to the 725 people on death row, what you will find is people convicted of the same crimes.
So I don't think the money's going to be saved, and I don't think the money's going to be going back to our law enforcement, and I don't think it's going to really improve our society. And so that's why I think that we should be voting against it.
The money that the state saves from representing criminals who are on death row, I believe, goes into the SAFE program, which is a program that provides better investigation into murder and rape cases, so very serious crimes, and I think definitely more resources to make sure that those crimes are addressed if and when they do happen is a good thing for our state.
There is no deterrent effect. And when we look at the crime rates, the homicide rates of the states that have the death penalty and compare them to the states that do not have the death penalty, we do not see a significant difference.
And I want to make sure it's not discriminatory. Right now, the death penalty across the U.S. is disproportionately applied to people of color. And it's disproportionately applied when the victim of a crime is white and not as seriously taking offenses against people of color.
And what we see in California is that crime rises and crime falls for various reasons having to do with the economy and all sorts of other considerations. But that the amount of violent crime is not traceable to whether or not we have a death penalty or don't.
Don't forget to vote on Prop 34 on November 6th. See you next week for another episode of Ballots for Bears.